week 22 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few forwards that could definitely help you here in the playoffs right now in most quarterfinals for fantasy owners. The first guy, Trenton Warford of the Portland Trailblazers. So a lot of Blazers are on this ad list this week here. On the season for Warford in his rookie year, 7 points a game, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 52% from the field. But the last few weeks here where he's got tons of playing time after the NBA trade deadline, 16.9 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.1 blocks a game, and 49% from the field here for Warford. So Warford, he's playing about 30 minutes a game. And this Trailblazer team going in a different direction this season with injuries and trading their veteran players, and all the youngsters are getting a look. And some of these guys have definitely popped out and played good basketball. March 16th at the Knicks, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 36% from the field. March 18th at the Nets, 8 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block, 37% from the field. And March 20th at the Pacers, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block, 2 threes, and 53% from the field. So Warford, he's only available right now in 45% of fantasy leagues. And this is probably one of the last chances for fantasy owners to go out there and get him. He's going to help you score the basketball. He's a pretty good rebounder, and he can pass and steal as well, so he'll help you in 4 or 5 categories. And he's a good forward ad this week here. The next guy is Danilo Gallinari of the Atlanta Hawks. So Gallinari, so far, he hasn't lived up to that offseason contract a few off seasons ago for this Hawk team. But the last few games here, he at least is playing some decent basketball. In the season, only 11.2 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists a game, 1.6 threes a game, and 42% from the field. But the last few weeks, 14.1 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 2 threes a game, and 47% from the field here for Gallo. So Gallo, he'll help you in three-point shooting, decent scorer, and he'll get a couple rebounds and assists as well. March 16th at Charlotte, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists to 3, 40% from the field. March 18th versus Memphis, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists to 3, 33% from the field. And March 20th versus the Pelicans, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 threes, and 52% from the field. So now with John Collins out last week, out indefinitely here, they're going to need someone to pick up the scoring load over there in Atlanta. And it definitely could be a shot that Gallinari does it. So right now available widely in 81% of fantasy leagues. If you need some scoring and three-point shooting, I think Gallinari's a decent ad. And like I mentioned, he's going to get more playing time now with obviously John Collins out for a crazy amount of time now, maybe even for the rest of the season. The next forward I look to add this week is Precious Achiuwa of the Toronto Raptors. Achiuwa, he's been up and down this season here with Toronto, but the last few weeks here, he's really playing good basketball. On the season, 8.8 points a game, 6.8 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 44% from the field. But the last few weeks here, 14.1 points a game, 6.4 rebounds, an assist a game, 2 threes, and 50% from the field. So right here, Achiuwa, he's playing heavy minutes right now for this Raptor team, and he's definitely paying off for fantasy owners and the Raptors with good production available right now in 70% of fantasy leagues. March 16th at the Clippers, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, a 3, 71% from the field. March 18th versus the Lakers, 18 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, 3 threes, 53% from the field. And March 20th at the Philadelphia 76ers, 21 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, 2 threes, and 60% from the field. So he can rebound the basketball, he could score, and his field goal percentage has been really good. So it's surprising to me he's still available in this amount of fantasy leagues at 70%, because I think he could really get the job done and help fantasy owners down the stretch here, giving you 4 or 5 categories. And he also qualifies at small forward, power forward, and center. Very good versatility here for Achiuwa, so definitely give him an ad this week. The next forward's Herbert Jones of the New Orleans Pelicans. So Herbert Jones, it's been a pretty good rookie season here for him. 9.7 points a game, 3.9 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 1.6 steals a game, and 49% from the field. But the last few weeks here, 12.9 points a game, 3.7 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 1.6 steals a game, a 3, and 58% from the field. So Herbert Jones, he's going out there, and he's giving fantasy owners 4 or 5 categories as well here. He's a nice player for this Pelican team and a good find in the NBA draft this season it was for him. March 15th versus Phoenix, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 threes, 63% from the field. March 18th at the Spurs, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a 83% from the field. And March 20th at Atlanta, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, a 3, and 66% from the field. So all of a sudden, Herbert Jones, he's starting to hit at least a three-pointer a game, something he didn't do early in the season. And this guy's a steals master as well, with 8 steals in his last 3 ball games. So he's definitely playing big minutes for the Pelicans, anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes a game. And he's going to continue to play for this Pelican team here. And he's definitely been productive as well for fantasy owners. And he's available in 49% of fantasy leagues. And the fifth and final forward I look to add this week is Matisse Thybulle of the Philadelphia 76ers. Thybulle, it's been an up and down and injury-riddled season as well for him. On the season, only 6 points a game, 2.4 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 1.7 steals, 1.1 blocks a game, and 49% from the field. But the last few weeks here, 7.4 points a game, 2.7 rebounds, 1.7 steals, 1.3 blocks a game, a 3 a game, and 48% from the field. So if you need steals and blocks, Thybulle is definitely a specialist at those 2 categories, and he'll give you a 3 or 2 a game here for fantasy owners. The last few games from March 16th at Cleveland, 5 points, 4 rebounds, a block, 28% from the field. March 18th versus Dallas, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, 2 threes at that, 100% from the field. And March 20th versus Toronto, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 blocks, 2 threes, and 66% from the field. So Thybulle's available in 61% of fantasy leagues. And like I mentioned, he's not going to give you much scoring, not much rebounding, not the greatest at three-point shooting, but blocks and steals is where he's really specializes at here, is Thybulle. And if you need those categories, which are hard to come by, I definitely would give him an ad this week. So that's a few forwards I look to add here in a precious week 22 of the fantasy basketball season.